When I was 22, I started my first job out of college. I was so excited. It was the beginning of a great job adventure. About a year into the job, though, I had a disagreement with my boss. I thought some of the things they were asking me to do went in direct opposition to some of my values. My boss came into my office. We had a 1-hour-long conversation, and then I decided to stay. And I kept going at that job for 2 more years. But throughout those 2 years, I was constantly asking myself, am I here for the right reasons? Is this the right job for me? What am I supposed to do? Our conversation today revolves exactly around those questions. I'm really excited to have this conversation with Hallie and to explore this conversation of job ethics. When is it okay to leave, or when should I stay? I'm Mauricio Bruce, and this is The Real Question. Hi, Hallie. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I'm very excited to have you here.
Excited to be here.
So before we even talk about what we're talking about, I'm going to ask you if there's one thing that you want to share with all our listeners and with me. If there's anything that you could share, what would it be?
I think the one thing I would want to share is that the favorite compliment I've ever gotten about me is that I'm very resourceful.
Oh.
And that's not something I really picked up on as one of my personality traits until somebody else pointed it out. But I am very much somebody that I will figure out the answer. I will figure out how to do something new if I want to. And if my friend says they have a question about something, I will be like, I'll figure that out for you just because.
Just because you can.
Yeah, just because I can. I'm curious and, I don't want to leave it sitting,
Do you have a favorite resourceful story? Like one time when you were really resourceful?
I think one thing, because this was a compliment I got from my freshman year roommate in college, and one story that stands out about that is I, in college, sort of became a de facto academic advisor for all of my friends.
Oh.
Because, even though I only knew my own major, I was very excited for them to figure out okay, what gen eds have you taken? What is your major? Let's look at those requirements and make sure that you're on track to graduate. What do you want to take next semester? And so that's sort of an example of something that I didn't really need to know about, but I for myself, did that for myself and then for my friends and some professors in the department I was in. If somebody asked them a question, would be oh, ask Hallie. She probably knows better than me.
I love it. I love it. But today you've come to ask me.
Yes, so. I have. I don't have all the answers.
So tell me, what's the question that you've brought us?
Yeah, so the question that I have today is, should I keep job hopping? So I graduated in 2020. Great time to graduate. No concerns with that. And I am currently on my 3rd full-time position since I graduated. And I'm a year and a half into my position. And when I got a year and a half in my first 2 positions, that is when I decided to leave the job that I was at.
I see.
So we're at job number 3. I've been there a year and a half, and I'm once again starting to get that feeling of oh, maybe I should leave.
Can you tell me more about that feeling? What do you start to notice? What do you start to feel? What happens?
I just inside my body start to get very antsy. And I don't know. I just am I feel I notice things I don't like that come up. I'm oh, this is a sign that I need to go. Yeah.
So this is a beautiful question. And I want to start, Hallie, if it's okay. Can I ask what kind of jobs you've hopped around in between?
Yeah. So I've been in marketing the whole time. I worked first for doing marketing for a mental health clinic. And then I worked doing marketing at a small private higher ed college, and now I'm actually again at another private higher ed college. So my previous job and this job, same field, just different schools.
And so it doesn't sound like you're getting tired or you're getting antsy about marketing.
No, like there are times when I wonder if it's the right path, but I am pretty happy, honestly, also with higher education marketing in particular.
Beautiful. Okay, you like the field you work in. You're pretty satisfied, even within the subfield, let's say, which is higher education.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm even more curious about where this antsiness and this need to jump to another job comes from.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if you can talk to me a little bit more in depth or with more detail about when that starts, how it feels, what you start to think, what you start to notice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think with this job, I just start to feel like, oh, this doesn't have everything I'm looking for. So at my previous job, it's a little easier to highlight. I was working at a religious institution. I myself am not religious, and I didn't align with the value system there.
Okay.
So that was
okay.
one of like a bunch of different issues that were converging, right? But like that was sort of a bigger reason that I left. And in this job, it's similar things where there are a lot of things about this job that I like more than my previous job, but I'm still like, something's missing. So like in this job, I don't feel super close or connected with any of my coworkers. Like really feel like I go in, I work, I go home, and that's it. And I guess this question is kind of coming up for me because it's like, am I going to find a job where like all of those boxes are checked, or do I just need to settle for some of them are checked and not all?
Yes. And I think it's so interesting. You just talked about something's missing.
Mm-hmm.
You're pointing at there's something there that through 3 jobs I haven't found. And I'm wondering, is it findable?
Yeah.
I don't want to use the word, should I settle? Right? I don't want to use the word settle.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to explore that need or that desire that you have that you haven't been able to fill just yet, to see if we can pinpoint it and we can kind of discover what it is.
Yeah.
And so my first question is, what hints can you give me?
I think feeling connected to the bigger picture is a big one. In marketing, it can be easy to feel like you're being told what to do and like not really feel like you're a part of the bigger organizations. Like my roles so far, it's very much like, this is what we're marketing, go do that. So that's one thing. Like, I just kind of feel like I'm doing what I'm told, but I'm not really making decisions.
Okay. So when you say the bigger picture, you're talking about sort of your employer's bigger picture.
Yeah.
I want to feel like I'm part of the decision making, of the direction of the company, of like I'm sitting up there with the people who are making decisions and they're taking me into account.
Yeah, I think that combined with at least seeing how my work goes into that. Like it's easy to get trapped in sort of a not seeing how my day-to-day work is impacting the organization as a whole.
Yeah.
And sort of feeling that like, if I'm not here, like, does that matter that much, you know?
Yes. Yes. Great. I'm going to put another part of the something missing. One is like connected to the bigger picture. But the second one I just heard there is, I want to matter.
Yeah.
I want to know that what I'm doing matters.
Yeah.
Anything else that comes up for you when we talk about the thing that's missing?
I think I do miss at my current role something that I had in previous roles, which is a connection to my coworkers and colleagues. So sort of similar, but on a smaller level of, in my previous 2 roles, I was like found lifelong friends. And right now I just, it is very lonely to go into a position and not really talk to anyone all day.
Absolutely. Okay. So there's 3 important things that you've outlined, and we're going to talk about them and sort of understand what they're pointing at. You said earlier that you were wondering if you should settle for a job that checked some of the boxes, but not all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Which boxes does your current job check?
Of the boxes we just made, it's
None.
not looking good. Yeah. There are moments at my current job where I feel like my position does matter, but they're kind of few and far between.
But are there other boxes that you're like, this is something I've always wanted, and this job definitely checks it?
The only thing that really comes to mind is like, I left my previous institution for values reasons. I align with the values of the company I work for.
Okay. That's really important, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So you go, the values of this place, check.
Yes.
Great. As we talk, if there are other things about your job that you go, check, please let me know.
Yeah, I enjoy what my actual job is. It's hard to explain because I like the job sometimes.
You like what you do.
Yes.
That's what I hear. Like there are things in the organization and in the role that you don't love, but when you're actually doing the work,
yes,
you like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. So I like what I do. I like the values of this place.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. I don't feel connected to the bigger picture. Mm-hmm. I don't feel connected to my colleagues, and I don't know if what I'm doing matters.
Yeah.
So the first thing I'll point at is in the missing ones, and that thing that's missing. 2 of the ones talk about connection, about feeling connected to something or someone else, right? I want to feel connected to my colleagues. I want to feel connected to something bigger. I want to feel like I'm a part of this rather than just a grunt.
Yeah.
But yeah, they tell me to do things. I do them. I turn them in. I go home. I come back. They tell me to do things. I do them. I turn them in. I go home. That's not very enjoyable for you.
No.
You want to feel like you're part of an organization that includes you, that explains to you what's going on, how they're achieving it, how they're putting it together. And then you get to say, oh, wow, this is fun. Here's an idea I have, and that it could be taken into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me ask you this. Are there people at your current job who you see are included?
I think that the only people I think are included are at upper leadership levels.
Mm-hmm. So that's where it gets tricky, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I used to work at a university, and I was a low-level grunt. And I was told what to do, and I would do it, and I would go home, and I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also knew that if I wanted to keep growing at that place, if I wanted to get to any of those places, I had to put in the time and the work.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, like that low-level grunt work, and I don't know why I'm calling it that way, but that low, first-level job was sort of the proving ground to see if I wanted to stay and make it up to those places.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that what you're bringing up is, should I keep job hopping? Is this something that I want to keep doing? Because some of these questions that you're bringing me, some of these things that are missing, connection, for example, being connected to the bigger picture, connected to my colleagues, connection develops over time.
Mm-hmm.
You said that at one of your jobs, you did lifelong friends. Did I hear that right?
Yes.
Was that at your first or second job?
Honestly, both.
Okay. So there was almost immediate connection to people in that job, in those jobs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And at this job, it's just different because you're more alone?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's really important for us to highlight, that connection is one of those boxes that's really important for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know when I say that to you, connection is really important to Hallie. Connection is one of the big boxes of her job qualities. Does that seem like something you can settle without? Where you would just go, yeah, okay, I'll settle. No connection.
That feels hard.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels hard for me too. How do we engage in a workplace where we spend, a third of our day if we're not feeling connection?
Yeah.
And, so many studies, and we could talk about it, but show that human beings need connection. It's one of those things that makes us human. And so if you're feeling isolated, if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling alone, if you're feeling separate, it's going to be really hard for you to function, to feel safe, to feel like you're a part of a team.
Yeah.
So I think hearing that connection is important to you, and if you were to say to me, connection to my colleagues, and I'd say, okay, we can develop that over time. And you say, no, in my other 2 jobs, I was there a year and a half and I had immediate connection to my colleagues. The connection to the bigger picture, I can understand takes more time. You need to grow into an organization to get to understand how it works, what its goals are, what its vision is, what its mission is, and for the organization to start to trust you to sort of bring you in.
Yeah.
I don't think we can expect an organization to say, hey, welcome, here's everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that you understanding that connection is one of the things that you desire the most, I'm not sure that you could settle.
Yeah.
And I think you've also understood that values are important to you. You couldn't work at that other place because the values didn't line up. Values line up here, and what you have to do, you enjoy. But there's this other big emptiness, which is connection.
Yeah.
So here's my next question. Do you think values, job, and connection are 3 things that you can find or you can aspire to in a job?
I would hope so.
Do you think that seems like something out of a fairy tale?
I don't think so. I think realistically, those 3 things exist.
Me too. And then the last one, which we haven't talked about yet, is I want to know that what I'm doing matters. I want to know that my effort in the world matters. You don't feel that right now, especially because you don't feel connected. So you don't even know what you're doing and how it affects the bigger vision and the bigger mission of the company you're at. Do you think if you felt connected to the company, if you knew what they were doing, and I know you know what they're doing, but if you were a part of that bigger picture, do you think you could feel that what you're doing matters?
Yeah, I think those 2 things are really connected. Because, if you understand how your work impacts the bigger picture, then it's easier to feel like the work that you're doing is important.
I think so too. So really, it sounds like we have 3 check boxes, and you can add more if you need them right now, but the 3 check boxes we have are values, the work that I'm doing, and the connection that I feel.
Yes.
And out of those 3, 2 are checked, which is great. But the third one, which sort of opens the door for knowing that what I'm doing matters and to feeling sort of at home in this place, isn't. So we've got a general picture of what's going on, right? Like if I asked you right now, should I keep job hopping? What would you answer right now? And we're not done. I'm going to ask you some more questions, but I'm just curious where you are.
I think it's really helpful to identify that connection piece as being the key thing that I'm missing in my current job, because I think my fear of, and I'm going to answer the question, I'm just going to go on this little tangent first. I think my fear with job hopping is that I will job hop to another job where it's not the right fit. So I would like to think that identifying better what isn't quite working in this role would help me. So I think my current answer would be to job hop thoughtfully and just try really hard to look for those three things in whatever jobs I'm applying to or interviewing at. Not rushing, because I do think it's easy to rush when you feel like, oh, I'm in the wrong spot. I need to go.
Yeah, that's right. If you know these three things, right, at your job interview, you could even ask, what are the values of this company? What are
Mm-hmm.
my exact duties going to be? Am I going to be a part of a decision table? Or how long will it take for me to get connected to a bigger picture kind of scenario? Like, those are all questions that you could ask
Yeah.
at an interview. And so I got a sense when we started talking, and you'd said, I graduated in 2020, and then I was a year and a half in one job, and then a year and a half in the next job. And now it's been a year and a half, that you were sort of establishing a pattern, almost like the question was, should I worry that this is going to be a lifelong thing?
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling about that right now?
I think it would be very sad if it's a lifelong thing, because that will just mean that I haven't managed to find what I'm looking for yet.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to get at is you've been job hopping because these boxes haven't been checked.
Yeah.
And so there's this part of you that's hoping and wishing and looking and hopping. And there's a voice that says, no, you got to stick to one. You got to stay there. Like hopping
Yes.
isn't good. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what I'm trying to address with some of these things that we've talked about, the boxes, the values, the duties, the connection,
Mm-hmm.
is sort of talk to that voice and say, hey, listen, the boxes aren't checked.
Yeah.
Hallie hasn't found the right place yet. This is not a thing she does because she enjoys hopping.
Yes.
This is a search for meaning and a search for that place that's going to help Hallie feel like what she's doing in the world matters.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
I think that's a really helpful way to frame it, because I do think it's really easy to just think like, well, you're not supposed to job hop, so you shouldn't do it. And going back and forth on like that sort of thing. But I think it's good to think about like trying to check those boxes and like that being the goal versus trying to have a really good time frame on a resume.
You shouldn't job hop. That's bad. You shouldn't do it because if you do it, it means fill in the blank.
It means you're not reliable.
So at the beginning, you told me that one of the favorite compliments you've ever gotten is that you're resourceful. Have people
Mm-hmm.
told you you're reliable as well?
Yes.
Yeah. And so here's you being reliable to you
Yeah.
and looking for that place that really fits you. If you listen to that voice that says, hey, you're not supposed to job hop, then you're going to end up doing that thing that you talked about at the beginning. You're going to settle. And you're going to be at a job for many years because you're supposed to stay for many years where you don't feel connected or you don't agree with the values or you don't like what
Mm-hmm.
you're doing. And you're going to just feel like this thing that you're doing doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So let's go back just one more time to that question. Should I keep job hopping?
Yeah.
Where are you? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Where are those signs?
I think I'm just feeling like maybe that's not how I should be looking at it. Like maybe it's more a question of, is it time to leave versus thinking of it as even hopping.
Should I continue looking? Is it time to,
Mm-hmm.
you've given this place a year and a half worth of time to figure out, is this the place? Do the values match? Check. Do I like my job? Check. Am I
Mm-hmm.
connected? I don't feel connected.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not about job hopping, which talks about like sort of a constant thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's about job hoping. I don't like looking for that perfect match,
Yeah.
which we can hope is still out there.
Yes.
Tell me what you're feeling.
I feel a little bit of relief. I feel just like almost like I let out a deep breath.
There's nothing wrong with looking for a better fit.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with saying, I don't feel right here.
Yeah.
And that voice that says, no, you got to stay, you got to settle, like responsible people stay.
Mm-hmm.
You can just tell that voice, I will stay when I find the right fit.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Hallie.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to hearing what job you find next.
Yeah, me too.
And if somebody's listening that matches Hallie's values, where you can help Hallie feel connected, where you can let Hallie do something that she loves, and drop us a message.
Yeah, I'm looking for the one in terms of jobs.
Thank you, Hallie.
Thank you so much.
This has been The Real Question. Our show is funded through our Patreon at patreon.com/realquestionpod. If you haven't been to Patreon yet, there are so many perks. And one of my favorite perks is you get to hear some updates from the people who have been on the show recently. What's happened, what decisions they've made, what advice they have for people going through similar situations. I think you should come by Patreon. Another way you can support this show is by leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Real Question Pod. And we are always looking for more guests. So go to our website, realquestionpod.com, and submit a question so that you and I can meet right here on the air and have a very interesting conversation. We love to shout out our BFF tier patrons: Renee Underhill, Amanda Schramm, Christina Igu Brandon, Jackson Paul Keeley. All four of you, thank you. We are a Not Sorry production. Our co-executive producers are Vanessa Zoltan and Ariana Nettleman. We are produced and edited by Ariana Nettleman. Music is by Nick Bowl, and we are distributed by Acast. Support for this show comes from the Fetzer Institute. Thanks, Hallie, for joining us today. I really hope your employers weren't listening, but if they were, Hallie's great, and she's gonna job hop soon. And thanks as always to our wonderful team: Julia Argy, Nikki Zoltan, AJ Yaramas, Anissa Ahmed, Danny Langley, Courtney Brown, Casper Turkile, and Stephanie Paulsell.